suffering because of all this. So the NSC is now going on protest because of this, in addition to the insecurity. So nobody should begin to look at it that NSC themselves, they do. How long will the NSC keep talking about one particular issue without it being solved? That is the core of this conversation. So everybody join me in live. Let us have a conversation on this one. It is Straight Talk live on Echo FM 100.7 with the Radio Marshal, Barry Cosmos, Dagbaro One on radio. Everybody, let's go talking. Let's take a look at what the papers are saying this morning. Beautiful Wednesday morning on the papers review. Welcome aboard. Let's start up with the Punch newspaper this morning. Insecurity. Police deploy special forces ahead of NLC protest. That is the lead story on the Punch newspaper. Petro Battlefield. ICPC plans NMDPRA boss probe after Dangote petition. All right, yesterday, I gave you a bit of this news due to the matter we were treating yesterday. I gave you a little bit of this news. But today, the Nigerian oil and gas sector has been thrown into fresh controversy as the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission has declared that it will investigate a petition lodged against the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Farouk Ahmed, by the chairman of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote. Well, Dangote, in a petition submitted on December 16th, that was yesterday, 2025, through his lawyer, Ogo Onoja San, called on the ICPC to investigate, prosecute, and potentially arrest Ahmed over allegations of corruption and financial impropriety, where the petition claims that Ahmed spent more than $7 million on the education of his 4 children in Switzerland, reportedly paid upfront for a 6-year period without any lawful source of income to justify such expenditure. Well, the engineer Farouk Ahmed has grossly abused his office contrary to the extant provisions of the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, and by so doing, enmeshed himself in the monumental corruption and unlawful spending of public funds, running into millions of dollars. Well, that engineer Farouk Ahmed spent without evidence of lawful means of income a humongous sum of over $7 million of public funds on the education of his 4 children in different schools in Switzerland for a period of 6 years up front, the petition stated. Now, that was the petition written by the richest man in Africa, accusing a government appointee who is supposed to be heading the NMDPRA, who are supposed to regulate our downstream sector. Now, this is exactly what we keep calling for. God will bless Dangote for coming up with this thing. Whether the man is guilty or not guilty is not my concern for now. What we are concerned is that at least somebody have the nerves and the guts to come up and ask people who spent money without any evidence of how they generated that money. When you spend money, your salary cannot give you in 5 years. Where did the money come from? When you spend money and you don't have a business that is supposed to be generating you money, it means you also are doing something fraudulent. So in this matter now, what will you tell this NMDPRA boss? Where did you get $7 million to pay upfront, 6 years upfront for your children to go to school? While our schools here, this man who is supposed to be remitting such monies into the federation account is now spending such money, well, still on allegation, for now not proven yet, But if it is true, we have schools that have no decks, no roof, no board, no teacher. And then one man will pay the money 6 years up front. How does it make? Now, this is what we keep talking about, governors, senators. These are the people that are killing the country the worst because the searchlight is not on them, but rather the government appointees in the various political sectors. Now, this is, I keep saying it, Kyari of NNPC, with the monumental fraud that occurred there, where they will not declare dividends and they will just say they've used the money for expenditure, and that's it. And nobody is holding that man responsible till today. Our refineries, they said they were going to work. They blow fire. Till today, the refineries are not working after collecting billions and billions of dollars from the federal government to fix our refinery. Nothing happened, and nobody is holding him accountable for those funds. Now, this is exactly what we want. If they call out like 7 or 10 of them, you will understand the monumental amount of money. People who are not elected, I'm not talking about people who are elected. These ones are either you rose from your position to the next position and then you swindle money meant for public purpose. This is where we are killing our country. And these are the people who will fight tooth and nail to make sure we do not have a government that is accountable to Nigeria, because they cannot be accountable to Nigeria. So Dangote has brought up this man now, Ahmed Farouk. I don't know whether your cup don't full. ICPC, EFCC, the ball is in your court. If you tell us that this man paid this money legally, please provide how he raised the money. That is just all. Oga, how did you get this money? How long have you been saving this money that you will pay $7 million upfront for your children school fees? That one only school fees. We don't talk about the other things. Oh, me, trouble. Everybody, you can also go take a look at the Punch newspaper and get more details on that particular one. Blackout looms as gas shortfalls hit power station. It is very ironical that this same man, NMDPRA boss, who is supposed to be overseeing all these things, now we're having darkness because of gas. They say Imo State is one of the having the highest natural gas deposit in the world, and yet we have to get a shortage of gas. How can you have all these things in Nigeria and yet we are going to darkness because of gas? These are very, very shameful things to even put on the pages of the newspaper, but it is what it is. There's nothing we can change about this, because the people who are managing these things are doing, I don't know if they understand the damage they are causing to this country called Nigeria, to the population, to the future population, and the future population. I wonder how we're going to survive this. Now, Nigerians may celebrate the Yuletide in darkness. Can you imagine that? If the federal government takes no further steps to defray the gas to power debt, as gas companies have begun cutting supplies to power plants, a development already affecting electricity generation nationwide. Well, on Tuesday, the Enugu Electricity Distribution Company informed consumers across the southeast of the situation in a statement issued by its group head, Corporate Communications, Emeka Eze. Well, Emeka Eze, we are going to talk to Emeka Eze pretty soon. Well, according to EEDC, the drop in power supply availability is due to low system frequency. Well, said to have been occasioned by gas constraint affecting generation companies. The discourse disclosed that the situation has necessitated load shedding of available energy by the transmission company of Nigeria. Well, as a result, EADC and the development had impacted energy allocation to it and reduced the daily service level to consumers served by its subsidiary companies. That is the Main Power and Transpower, First Power, and the New Era and East Land. All these ones are people who we get them. Transpower is the one we are using here now in Imo State already. Now, at the end of this day, what EEDC is saying is half-truth. Half. Because one of the biggest problems we have, when I was discussing with I think, what was his position again of EEDC here in Imo State? We're going to get to that interview pretty soon. We are investigating. We are not done with our investigation. That's why we've not brought up the news. The issue with this is power generation. All these long stories are talking about gas supply. How many do you generate? The Gencos that generate this power, they have not been complaining. You that is a distributor is now complaining that they are having gas shortage for that reason. Something is wrong somewhere. Anyway, when we bring out the full findings we've gotten from this particular one, you will begin to see why. Now, the Orashi power plant is coming, and they have not even gone away. They just started building the structures, and now we are hearing fight between this, between that, between this. Gas supply. Imo State has one of the highest natural gas deposits here. All we need to do is extract it and then give to these companies so that they can generate electricity. But unfortunately, we ain't doing that. We keep wasting our time on how many thousand, 4,000, 5,000 megawatts the whole country will use. This is completely unbelievable. Nde Nafuto, what are you people doing? All this I study EE. Time down rich, you can't prove your EE now. Una don't know what they do. Oh, ha. Well, EEDC, you keep telling us one story today, another story tomorrow, giving us reasons why we cannot have steady power supply. All this, it doesn't make any sense to the consumer. Now, if these reasons you are giving that we can't have power supply, why is it that it does not affect the bill? You are giving us all these plenty useless reasons now, but when it comes to the bill keep increasing, it never reduces. Why? All right, well, I never tell us what's been the problem. There was a time we heard that the power generated is not even completely distributed because you cannot buy. You go and buy a small amount of power, and then they put it into the feeders. You feed one side, ration that small amount of power because that's what you want to buy, then get astronomical bills on it. Now, these are things we found out. Now, if, for instance, you get maybe 500 megawatts and put into the Trans-Egbo, this Egbo substation, that is where the Gencos will put it, to put it into the national grid. From there, this EEDC Transpower will have to distribute it around everybody. What can 500 megawatts do for Imo State? So the next thing you do now is begin to ration. Give these people here. No, give these people here. And then put them for this feed now. They say, band A, they want to get the highest amount of things. If they give them the money, they will take them. Give these people. They will take them. Give these people. The same thing. So because that power cannot go around Imo State even for 1 hour. So they keep doing this. That's exactly what happens. Now, if we're going to tell you that the generation is not enough, but what we find out that sometimes they generate power and they can't even buy it and the power goes wasting. Now, these are things that are supposed to have invested and put more money to get this. These are companies that are supposed to have put more money to generate because they are in business. But since EEDC and the rest of the Gencos and the rest of them got into the this privatization, how much have they invested in building the infrastructure to generate power? That is where the whole issue is. So this is, all this babadash you're saying now is useless to me because you're not solving any problem. You're relying on already existing facilities instead of building new facilities to generate more power. This is where and this is supposed to be a private business. It is not, and will never be. It has nothing to do with government. The government only regulates. Now the whole issue is that once we put this thing into the sub and national grid, this EEDC, KEDC, and the rest of the EDCs everywhere will now go and buy. So the amount of power you buy is what you give. Of course, we know that the generation is not enough because 5,000 megawatts cannot go anywhere in Nigeria. Sometimes they buy 200, 100 and something in a state. So for that particular one, how long will you even serve it? That's why sometimes somebody will stay 1 week, no light. They then bring the light just a few days before you pay bill. Once the flashlight, they flash or they no flash, they will still bring bill. So if your electricity distribution company has issues and they're noticing the customers stating their estate council currently be informed that the current load shedding being experienced in all the franchise areas is as a result of poor generation and allocation from the generation company and NCC. Fine, I agree with you. But since this one is now poor, what is happening with the bill? Shouldn't the bill also reduce? That's the question I'm asking this morning. So EEDC and Transpower, if I bring B this time, the B still there when they, when I never tell us what they do, because all this one on a window dressing. That is the message this morning. I hope they're listening. I know they're listening anyway. So let's continue with the other stories on the pages of the newspaper. And that story is something that I am passionate about because it affects everybody. All right, Anambra vows to reclaim illegally acquired land, approves 530.3 million naira for infrastructure. Tinubu meets labor leaders over proposed protest. Well, that meeting was held yesterday, and the outcome is nothing to show for it. On the Vanguard newspaper this morning, we have Nigeria's 80% youth unemployment rate indictment on leadership. That is according to Peter Obi. Well, Peter Gregory Obi is in the news now. He said the 2023 presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Labour LP, Mr. Peter Obi, had described the recent Action Aid Plan International report, which puts Nigeria's youth unemployment rate at 80%, as an indictment on Nigeria's leadership and its economic direction. Well, Obi noted that these figures represent over 80 million unemployed youths. This, he said, was a staggering reality given the country's undeniably large population. When you have 80 million youths, able men who are supposed to be very useful and resourceful to their country and to their families, unemployed, and you're not surprised why we have insecurity, armed robbery, kidnapping here and there, you're surprised? How on earth are you going to be surprised when you cultivated the fertile ground, then add better manure, carry fertilizer, put and come water them very well? 80 million Nigerian youths. I am not talking about children, youths. Most of them graduates. Nothing to do. And you expect insecurity and all manner of societal vices not to increase. This is the consequences of a failed leadership in this country. And with every day, we keep graduating young people without anything for them to do. No startup funds, nothing. If they manage to steal one small business, the economy saps it. So we just live to eat. We work to eat, not to do nothing. You can save money, you can build, nothing. Paying house rent now, war. It's just like you come to Imo State, you walk, carry, go pay landlord, then chop. Tomorrow you walk, pay landlord, find food, chop. Every year. When are you going to buy that car, build that house, or do some savings for your future or your children's future? This is the reality of Nigeria, and that is why NSC is going on a protest. So what do you do? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit on the fence? Those are the questions. Well, in South Africa, with a youth unemployment rate of around 60%, translates to about 6 million unemployed youths, still more than 70 million fewer than Nigeria. Can you imagine? When millions of youths are unemployed, it is not a youth problem, it is a leadership failure. This is a direct result of political greed and has fallen and failed to serve the people. That is what Peter Obi is saying. Workers facing worst survival crisis in Nigeria's history. This is coming from NLC. Well, today, the Nigerian workers sit at the bottom of the ladder when compared with workers in many African countries, including war-ravaged nations such as Somalia and Sudan. Oh, mate, this is the biggest insult. Hi, Jesus Christ. And when people were not supposed to talk to us, go to follow us the yarn now, no wonder Somalia, Uganda, Namibia go to follow us the drag now. They follow Nigerians, they talk. What an insult. All right, finally, before I open up the phone lines, this story has been in the news for a long while this week. Talking about the former First Lady. The cabal made Buhari lock his room against me. That is coming from Aisha Buhari, the late Buhari's wife. The former First Lady said, Dr. Aisha Buhari has said her husband, late President Muhammadu Buhari, suffered from long history of malnutrition, which affected his health when he was the president. Of course, he didn't get time to chop her. She also said some powerful individuals who were working with the president polluted his mind against her to the extent that the former president started locking the door to his room to prevent her from having access to it. Well, these, among others, were contained in the book From Soldier to Statesman, The Legacy of Muhammadu Buhari, written by Dr. Charles Omole and launched on Monday at the State House Conference Center in Abuja. The book quoted the former president's wife saying her husband's 2017 health crisis did not originate as a mysterious ailment or a covert plot. It says, according to her, it started with a loss of routine malnutrition, which she described as a pattern of meals and supplements she had long overseen in Kaduna before they moved into Aso Villa. You see, the man weighing wife to take care of entire sort of forgetting wife, can't they take cabals? Cabal don't make a no go buy now for nothing. Well, the book further says, when the presidency's machinery took over their private lives, she says she sat with his close personal staff, the physician, the CSO, the housekeeper, and even the director general of the DSS. In a final meeting, she explained the plan daily at specific hours, cups and balls, which tailored vitamin powders and oils. I mean, a woman nice, I mean, husband pass. This is what she's saying, and that's the complaint. That's so pathetic that your own husband, because he's president, he begin to fear you because the cabal say, Aisha won't kill you. That is very funny, but that's what it is. Politics can make people do anything, and power, the fear of the unknown, can make you do a lot of crazy things. And at this juncture, I think this is the best place to open up the phone lines for you to have your say on the show. Welcome aboard, people. 0911 20,000 22 or 0707 454 1014. Those are the numbers to punch. Oh, yeah, who be my first caller this morning?
This call is now being recorded.
Good morning, my very good friend, Mr. Barry. How are you doing this morning?
I am very fine, thank you.
Olumbi Onyez Ezelobo.
All right, Ezelobo, good morning.
80% of Nigerian youths are unemployed by Peter Obi. You see, this country will find ourselves that called Nigeria for now. It's very, very, very unfortunate that Nigerians, our leaders are turning Nigeria, the youth, just like a Cameroon, where you have people that is ruling them. You see people of 80, 90, 100 and above trying to control the hem of the affairs. So on this issue, please, our youths, I will advise them, if at all there will be 2027 election, let everybody go and get his or her TVC card, the voter's card, so that let us, and all of them are jumping into APC, including the back end we have in Nigeria, are jumping into APC to make one party system. Let us, the youth, form their own party and vote these bad people out of government. I believe that's the only thing that will help us. If not, I'm seeing Nigeria turning into Afghanistan. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. All right, that's our first caller. Say Nigeria should form their own party. Good morning. Which party you know I'm from? Welcome aboard.
Good morning, Chief Barry Cosmos. How are you doing this morning?
I greet you. I'm fine.
All right, you're online with Engineer Frank Kujebele, and this morning I'm radiating from Amausa Douglas.
Go.
All right, let me quickly react on the issue of NLC. You see, Nigerian workers they have lost their hope in that of NLC since the coming in of this present leadership.
Why do you say so?
Yes, but let me tell you. Are you aware that in the last something days, Nigerian health workers have been on strike? When you go to government hospital now, but that place is just is a deserted area. And our people are paying through their nose. I was even expecting NLC to go on protest, first of all, to make sure that health workers return to their duty posts.
But they do have a union. The health workers have a union. So why are you calling the NLC?
Yes, the NLC is the mother of other unions. There is something that we call sympathy strike and protest.
So what you're saying now is that if any union in Nigeria goes on strike, NLC should go on strike. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying there, NLC is supposed to they're supposed to have addressed the issue of health workers on strike. I was even to understand. So this is supposed to be the first thing they're supposed to address, to make sure that our people get the best, because people are paying through their nose when we go to private hospitals, because somebody who have no patient may not understand what I'm saying, but if you have patient, somebody that you are taking care of, you will understand what I'm saying, that patients are really suffering. Finally, let me talk on the issue of this transpower. They gave us almost 500,000 naira as a deal last week. Each flat is 90,000. Some people, they give them 100,000 naira, more than a minimum wage. And this is going to be where we find ourselves. How can an electricity bill bigger than that of house rent? It's only in Nigeria that we see that. It's quite unfortunate. So I will advise our leaders should know that they are really human beings. We are not animals.
Okay. Thank you.
Have pity on us. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
I greet you, sir.
My name is Herbert. I call from Port Harcourt Road.
Herbert from Port Harcourt Road. Carry go.
Thank you. Barry, you seem to have lost your voice. I hope you are fine.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. Sounding somehow cracky. But it's okay.
All right.
Let me talk about the expose by Aisha Buhari.
Okay.
I think we are really getting interested in this matter.
Okay.
Looking out Aisha from seeing Mr. President, that sounds interesting. You see, when these things were happening, some people told us that we should watch out on who was actually in Aso Rock. A man that couldn't recognize the wife again suddenly. These are statement questions some of us asked them. Now the truth is coming out. I wish that we'll hear more. At the end of the day, we'll know what really happened in Aso Rock during the reign of Buhari. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you. Good morning.
Hello. Barry, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome aboard.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I enjoyed your last Sunday. Well.
Thank you.
I believe that this coming Sunday we'll still enjoy you too.
That's so.
Thank you. I want to talk about NEPA.
Okay.
You see, I don't know the kind of feeling people have. Let me just say maybe wickedness, because if I put wickedness, maybe you may cut me off. People are very heartless that bringing a deal that know that people will not be able to pay in a month. The person consume that light. This kind of thing happen in Lagos. If they say people in the Imo State will agree, the whole street, they tell them to bring out their wire. Make them come out it. Make them come out the whole light. Make them take their life. This is very painful. Look at here. Only one apartment. How much did they give to me? They are bringing bill 100,000, 90, 80.
Okay.
But when you check it, we are not using that kind of light. It's a very wickedness. I don't know the person that stay in that street that doing this kind of a thing.
All right. Thank you very much, my brother.
If everybody will agree, they remove the whole wire. Let them take their life.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go to our Facebook and bring you messages. Remember, we are streaming on Echo FM, Echo 100.7 FM Owerri. That is where we are streaming Echo FM 100.7. In case you are searching for us at the old one, we are live on Echo FM 100.7. That is where you will see our Facebook now. If you are not there, please like, follow, and share that page. We have Emeka Onu says, I greet you, my presenter Barry. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Emeka. Meshak Agoha says, greetings, Mr. Barry. Chinaza nice. For me, Dangote is right. That man is guilty. Let EFCC move fast and arrest him immediately. Bring back his children to Nigeria. Let them attend our school here. Good morning, Oga Barry. Chelsea get luck last night. Don't concern you. We don't win, we say we don't win. Chinaza nice. Mind you, when I don't feel win for your home. When I need to play Champions League, they give you Monday night football. And you still lose. Kai Chineke, man. Dr. Mrs. Olebra from Owerri. We have all it takes to develop this country, but it's held ransom by some greedy and selfish people. It says good leadership is a luxury in Nigeria. That's Nigeria for us, a country where extravagance and looting have become fashionable among public holders, a country where evil has been allowed to bestride and ravage our polity unchallenged. Good leaders don't take advantage, intimidate, or diminish their subjects. A lost nation is one in which hunger and jobless people blindly support those responsible for their agony, enter, and misery. We will keep speaking out and telling the truth. Yes, that is, she says, we need leaders who have justice in their hearts and golden names that will occupy the most treasured pages in the yet-to-be-written golden book of leaders. Dr. Mrs. Simao Lebra from Owerri. We have all it takes to develop this country. Dr. Mrs. Simao, thank you very much for your message. Yeah. All right, we have this one. Chinazana is again say EEDC is our biggest problem in Nigeria. May the owner is a Chinazana. He can never be Chelsea fan. Now, when I get the most expensive ticket, when I with Arsenal, mind you are Arsenal. So how can you talk about Chelsea? Chelsea, we are bonanza givers. We give freely. That is it, man. Destiny Harris in Ogabari. Leave photo issue. Photo that breeds engineers still use external contractors to do engineering job in the school. Come, you have my school. Take time. Oh. No good deal. Of course, we have to use external engineers because at the end of the day, there's a difference between academics and reality. Chris Ogbonna JP, the Guru 1, and Christmas bonus on radio. Will the NSC protest change insecurity in the country? The answer is no, because those causing the insecurity are politicians in government. NSC should have used their time to protest the hunger in our country. For EEDC, any day God remember them, they will be punished accordingly. Comrade Chris Ogbonna, JP, Church of Presentation, no Muguma. Destiny Harris says, on the protest, it is good to have one, but the organizers, as Labour executive led by Ajero, does not have the moral psyche to lead this one. The worst Labour executive talkative without action. Imagine till date, the Labour leaders can't persuade the government to pay the wage award palliative old workers. Oh boy. Adache Sunday says, good morning, Mr. Barry. If a director in NNPC could thief this amount of money alone, who know how much the Minister of Petroleum has stolen? Hey, Jesus. Ezinia Buru. He says, Barrio, happy morning. We are under a bewitched government whose ways and means are calculated to ruin the already impoverished, vulnerable citizens. Barrio, a country where officials of government ride SUV vehicles worth 500 million naira each, while the same government can hardly pay minimum wage of 100K. Recently, the wife of Mr. President was, it says, the wife of Mr. President was proud to distribute 200K to 250 so-called elderly citizens. How much does it translate to? I feel so sad that some people still clap for those government officials who are out to ruin them. Shame to those who see evil as good. Barrio, compliment of the season. The good Lord is our strength. Elder Chijoke, your abandoned friend. I can never abandon you. Chief, my elder Chijoke from Irete. Don't worry. One of these days, I will tell you Sade Irete. Where you there? You go see him. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Comrade Faragba, good morning and welcome, sir.
Well, I said many of these things happening today, long time ago. A government where the man at the head has staged a coup against the government.
Okay.
And decided not to obey the constitution of Nigeria. There's nowhere in our constitution where special advisors have executive power or have any responsibility. They are just to be there at the pleasure of the president. But today, they are the people governing. And they don't have experts to advise them. What do you expect? Gambling is better than this. This is just driving a car without brakes, without steering, and at top speed. And we say, I don't know where they're going. Because the social advisors have no bearing, and they have deceived them, the people, because they don't have the knowledge to.
Okay.
They get involved in things they have no idea about. Who is the special advisor? If you so like him, why don't you make him a minister and give him some responsibility according to our constitution?
All right.
It's not only military coup you have civilian coups too.
Of course.
There's a coup in Nigeria against Nigerians. Then let me talk about EDC or whatever they call them.
Okay.
They are creating unemployment. If the government is sincere, they will remove the thing from them. How do they refuse to leave meters? You see, we can understand having ATM in banks.
Okay.
Because you don't want people to waste time in banks. They have to go. But by their certain bill readers and meter readers and bill distributors, is it not unemployment they are creating? They go and all these things. People have meters, they don't want to read them. I have a bill. In fact, suddenly, I saw in my bill 500,000 debt in a private house where I was paying regularly. How did this come about? Who are these accounting people? So who get, and if you are privatizing things, why don't you say the shares so that we know what is happening? Why give it to an individual? And it's ripping off everybody. It's very annoying, but the thing I want to warn as a man over 80 years is that he who goes and purchases the person firewood has invited me to a job. Nigeria is trying to destroy itself by this getting amateurs to do things they don't know need to know. The Nigerian bureaucracy is now on holiday. So they are still being paid.
Right.
Who are these special advisors? Who are they? And why should the governor have more than 4 special advisors? Are you setting up a new bureaucracy with the whole civil service there? And that is why our governors have not been advised that they shouldn't get involved in pension matters. Pension is a charge. And nobody does governor's budget into pension. So why are you paying pension? And why are they looking for ghost pensioners? And why do they reach agreement with people and suddenly say the agreement is invalid? Come and revalidate. What type of country are we in?
Sure.
How do you revalidate? What makes the lease expire? If I go and buy land and you give me lease for 99 years, then your son will get up because they have succeeded you. You say, come and renew this lease. And we had a summit, the economic summit. How do the people take us when we tell them we don't respect agreement? That you are revalidating what made the thing expire. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think there's too much to talk, but let's do that.
Thank you, Comrade Efayagba, for your contribution. All right, still on the newspaper review. If you're just joining us, it's the last lap of the newspaper review. Well, there is another allegation. This time around, it's towards the Nigerian Corporate Affairs Commission chief. Is accused of forcing small businesses to pay inflated registration fees. This is on the Sahara Reporters. You can grab a copy and read for yourself. The allegation center on the commission's ordered fintech companies to collect inflated business registration fees from hundreds of thousands of small business owners across the country. Well, as Nigeria struggles to keep millions of citizens afloat, and inflation, unemployment, and the shrinking informal economy, allegations of large-scale extortion, abuse of office, and financial impropriety have engulfed the Corporate Affairs Commission. Nowhere we don't hear corruption cases. Jesus. Well, the Senior Staff Association is also backing NLC's nationwide protest over insecurity and slams Tinubu's government and anti-poor policies. Okay. This is great. We just take one more call before we call it a wrap on the newspaper review. Good morning. Hello? All right. Apparently the callers are coming and going. All right, let's go straight to our commercial department and bring you some commercials before we visit our news department to bring you the news update at 10. Do not touch that diary call. We are going to be talking about the NLC protest that is coming up today. And of course, the president held a closed-door meeting with the leadership of the NLC, but it has not abated. the protests so far up to now. We've not gotten any information that the protest will be shelved. Thank you very much for sticking around with us. We'll be right back after this timer. Don't touch that dial.
December is finally here. Echo FM is one. Owerri, are you ready? Join us as we celebrate our 1-year anniversary. We have lots of fun activities and giveaways planned just for you. On Sunday, 7th of December, it will be Echo FM and Fans Football Fiesta. Venue, Old Stadium Owerri of Tetlow Road. Time, 1 p.m. Entry is free. On Sunday, 14th of December, it will be the Echo FM Kiddies Santa Fiesta. Venue, Echo FM premises at the King Square, number 4 at Joko Street off Redrow Road and close to the Old Stadium of Tetlow Road. Time, 1 p.m. Ticket amount for children, regular 5,000 Naira. Ticket amount for party excursion, 10,000 Naira. Amount for pageant forms, 10,000 Naira. On Sunday, 21st December, our anniversary day, it will be the Echo FM Married and Smingle Show. Venue, Benchmark Hotel at number 12 Oduobi Crescent, Ikenegbu, Owerri. Time, 1 p.m. Ticket amount for singles, 3,000 Naira. Ticket amount for couples, 7,000 Naira. You can purchase your tickets at Echo FM located at the King Square, number 4 at Joko Street off Redrow Road, Owerri, or pay into the company account, which is 1898340588. 1898340588. 1898340588. Bank Access Bank. Account name, The King Holistic Communications Network Limited. Share your receipt on our WhatsApp number 0707 491 3438. 0707 491 3438. 0707 491 3438. Don't miss out on the fun. See you there.
Wow! Another exciting news from the Imo State Public Service. Have you heard about the recertification of landed property in government layouts in Owerri? Great news indeed. Now listen. In line with Part 2, Section 3D of the Imo State Lands Administration and Geographic Information Service Agency Establishment Law 2025, the government has scheduled the recertification of all landed property in government layouts across the state. Be informed that the recertification exercise will commence with a resurvey of landed property in layouts under the Owerri schedule. This exercise is scheduled to begin on Monday, the 8th of December 2025. Also be aware that accredited land surveyors will be on site to collect the necessary data for the recertification process, which will lead to the issuance of new certificates of occupancy (CFO) to eligible plot owners. Wow, isn't this exciting? Again, all allottees and plot owners are kindly requested to cooperate fully with the survey teams to ensure a smooth and successful exercise. Be compliant. Don't waver. It is for our collective benefit. Declan Emelumba, Commissioner for Information, Public Orientation and Strategy, Imo State, announcer.
It's the sound of the city. Echo 100.7.
Echo FM.
Echo FM 100.7, the fresh news people.
You love music? You love Echo FM 100.7.
to let you know I'm loving now. They do me slow, baby, cause I love me. You already know. Got every head turning. I see the press coming. So what you telling me now? Who's that girl? Who's that girl? What's popping? Bad girl, there's no stopping. What's coming? Feeling the energy, adrenaline rushing.
Echo FM.
Look what the hot body can do. Look what the hot body can do.
This week to help those in need.
If you know that it's God Almighty that created you and created we Nigerians like you need to do good things for us because the masses are suffering. How can suspend me here? Are we your slaves? I am going to win this election. That is the truth.
Stay informed with Echo FM 100.7. Join us for exclusive interviews with experts, breaking updates on local and global events, and in-depth coverage of issues impacting our community. Tune in every weekday at 6:30 a.m., 12 noon, 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. for our major news bulletin in English, Igbo, and Pidgin language. For more inquiries, you can reach us through our email, echofm@thekingmail.com. You can follow us on our social media handles at Echo FM. Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. We are the Fresh News People.
Catch up with the latest news updates on Echo 100.7 FM Owerri.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the news update on Echo 100.7 FM, the station with fair and balanced reporting. Here are the latest stories we're keeping tabs on. The House of Representatives has stepped into the ongoing diplomatic situation involving the continued detention of a Nigerian military aircraft and its crew in Burkina Faso, warning that the development poses both security and foreign relations concerns for Nigeria. During plenary, lawmakers described the prolonged detention as unacceptable and resolved to engage senior officials from the Ministry of Defense and Foreign Affairs. They also urged the federal government to activate regional and continental platforms, including ECOWAS and the African Union, to facilitate the immediate release of the aircraft and its personnel. Electricity generation on Nigeria's national grid has declined following disruptions to gas supply caused by vandalism along key upstream gas pipelines. The Nigerian Independent System Operator has confirmed. The disruption has affected several gas-fired power plants, forcing them to operate at reduced capacity and resulting in nationwide load shedding. Distribution companies say consumers are experiencing reduced power supply as authorities work with industry stakeholders to stabilize the grid. A 25-year-old student of Rufus Giwa Polytechnic Owo, identified as Ayodele Peter, has been murdered in what police believe was a court-related attack in Ondo State, sparking renewed concern over court violence in tertiary institutions. The attackers reportedly forced their way into his residence during a supremacy clash. Police say one suspect has been arrested, while the State Commissioner of Police has ordered increased security patrols and assured residents that efforts are ongoing to prevent further incidents. Plateau State Governor Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mufwang has called for a stronger and more strategic partnership with the Nigerian Air Force to tackle persistent security challenges across the state and the wider north-central region. The governor made the appeal during a visit to the Air Force headquarters in Abuja, stressing that closer collaboration is vital to protecting lives and livelihoods. The Chief of the Air Staff welcomed the move, commending the state for supporting Air Force operations. In business, the Nigeria Economic Zones Association has thrown its weight behind calls by regulatory authorities for a 10-year moratorium on the implementation of the national tax policy within Nigeria's free zones. The association warned that a rushed implementation could undermine investor confidence and weaken the competitiveness of the free zone scheme, which it says remains critical to export growth, industrialization, job creation, and foreign direct investment. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a new proclamation imposing partial travel restrictions on Nigeria and 15 other countries as part of efforts to tighten entry standards into the United States. The order provides exemptions for lawful permanent residents, existing visa holders, diplomats, athletes, and individuals whose entry is deemed to serve U.S. national interest, while maintaining restrictions on certain visa categories. In sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has confirmed that it has initiated a formal probe into DR Congo's alleged use of ineligible players during the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. The probe follows concerns over possible citizenship violations despite FIFA's earlier clearance and has raised fresh hopes for Nigeria's qualification after missing out on the last two World Cup tournaments. And that's all for the news update at 10, edited by Benjamin Joseph. For more information and inquiries, visit our social media platforms on Facebook at Echo FM, X at Echo FM _Owerri, Instagram at Echo FM 100.7, YouTube at Echo FM 100.7. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by clicking on www.echofm.net. I am Best Beauty Igoinfa. Thank you for listening. Good morning.
Of the city, Echo 100.7. Every day,
every hour,
every minute,
and every second,
breaking news occur.
our villages,
in our cities,
new government policies,
the economy,
politics,
social news,
entertainment news,
security concerns.
We, the people, converge
to analyze,
separating facts from fiction,
lies and truth.
We dissect,
we integrate,
we harmonize,
we criticize,
and we bring you all the juicy details.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri. It is Straight Talk.
Straight Talk.
Straight Talk on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Shall I begin? I am your host. I am your anchorman. I am the presiding bishop of this ministry, and I am awesome. My name is Barry Cosmos, the Radio Marshal, the Buruburu One on radio, the Okenze on radio, your big brother on radio. I am the main event, and I am here.
Live on Echo FM 100.7 Owerri.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to the show, people. Welcome back to Straight Talk Live on Echo FM 100.7. All right, let's bring you details of what is going on now nationwide at various points in Nigeria as the NLC has embarked on their protests. Despite a high-level meeting with the president last night, they went ahead with the protest. Okay, on December 17th, today, Ajero, Sowore workers and gather at NLC and Secretariat over insecurity protest. They are still there protesting right now. Police mobilized special forces ahead of NLC nationwide protest over insecurity and economic hardship. Well, they are still making frantic effort to stop the protest, but NLC president and the leadership say the protest must continue despite the meeting with Tinubu. Well, these are all issues. The NLC president is the protest is underway now nationwide. The Nigerian Labour Congress has gone ahead with its planned nationwide protest today. Well, despite a high-level meeting with the president and government officials, workers and affiliates have gathered at key staging points like the Labour House in Abuja and are mobilizing across states to demonstrate. Why the protest? Why are they protesting? Well, the action is that they are saying the National Day of Protest and mourning. They are mourning for people who have died due to the insecurity crisis in Nigeria. It is aimed at drawing attention to worsening insecurity across Nigeria, including frequent kidnappings, killings, and security lapses while affecting citizens and workers. Well, the protest also reflects broader grievances, including economic hardship, unresolved labor issues, and poor government response to security challenges. Now, with all these things the Labour Congress is saying, first, they say economic hardship. Don't we have economic hardship? They say plenty boku. They say unresolved labor issues. Every agreement entered into by government, subsequent governments, and the rest of the all agreements, both old and new, none has been met. Even the wage, the minimum wage that they increased, some states have not started paying. The local government funds are supposed to go to local government. The governors are still holding sway. Nothing that have been approved that has been implemented. The wage award has not been given. Some states have given, some have not given, some have complied, some have not complied. So these are loads and loads of grievances that the NLC has. And the NLC is not about, some people talk about NLC as if, now them, now these people. Every worker is a member of NLC by automatic the conscription. Since you are a Nigerian worker, they represent you. They are not like, callers will call, say, this present NLC. Who is the NLC? The NLC leadership is different from the NLC. The NLC leadership represents the NLC. But people just look at these leaders as not them be NLC. No, the NLC belongs to everybody. All members in the secretariat, everybody working in private or public places, we're all supposed to be members of the NLC. So when the NLC is talking, that is why it is gradually losing its grip on the government. This is the only tool that has been helping the Nigerian workers via the poor masses. And now we are gradually losing that again. We've lost our voting right. We've lost our voices. Now you're even losing the only thing that stands between you and the government. And a lot of us will be looking as if, nah, them, concern us. This attitude of us sitting on the fence as if NLC is not something that is for you is one of the reasons why NLC is losing its voice. Of course, we cannot take away the political shenanigans, the leadership tussles, and the betrayal and backstabbing of a lot of the NLC members or executives. That notwithstanding, we still have our own role to play. Having said that, let us take a look at these things again. The leadership stance is that the NLC President Joe Ajero confirmed there is no cancellation even after meeting the President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday night yesterday. The protest is continuing as planned. The union has warned that any violent disruption or attacks on peaceful protesters could trigger an indefinite nationwide strike. Now, have you asked yourself, why will the President of the Federation, I'm not talking about Minister of Labor, I'm not talking about Minister of Labor for State or the race substantive minister, I'm not talking about Finance Minister or all these Bayonanuga at their level. The President of Nigeria met with NLC last night and they came out and said we are continuing the protest. What does it tell you? Nothing was agreed. Nothing was reached. The president is not ready to play ball. It means whatever NSC is saying, president, no one do it, he didn't talk. We don't need to come out and say the president told them, take this one. Because in the past now, we'll not hear blackmail. They say they blackmail NSC. We gave them this. They rejected for their own selfish interest. That is the next story you start hearing now. Because if the president will sit down with the leadership of NLC on Tuesday night in order to try and stop the protest, what concessions did the president give and then make it work? Not just signing paper that you will never, ever live up to. They will sign paper today. After some time, they'll say that agreement when I make, no work again. They'll go back, call for another agreement. Every time the NSC wants to go on strike, you call them for a negotiation. They negotiate. They shave their sword, then you go continue doing the thing you're doing. If they plan for another strike again, you call them and talk. How long will this vicious cycle continue? So the NLC is saying no to that, and they say we go ahead with the protest. Now, how many days will they protest? That's another thing. For how long will they protest? What will be the impact of the protest? Another person will want to argue that since President don't talk to them, they don't agree. The next thing is that President says, I'm going to do now worse. Will it get to that? I don't know. But do you think it will get to that? That's the question I'm also throwing to you out there. With the security arrangement, the police have also placed special forces on high alert across the country with deployment from federal and state police commands to secure proposed routes and prevent hijack by criminal elements. Authorities insist the emphasis is on peaceful, orderly demonstrations and protection of citizens' rights. Now, we have also seen that every time there's a protest, the people that first start trouble, not even the protesters and the police. They will not say, this place, you are not supposed to come here. No, you cannot come here. When the people are coming, the tear gas or any other thing, protest violence will start. From that small spark here, the thing will enter inside the street. Some thieves, the ground user now, begin to break people's shop. They carry what they want to carry. Now, this is what is happening. If we don't allow this thing to degenerate, it becomes a problem for the police. But if we allow it to degenerate, the police will just be very happy to start arresting people anyhow. Arbitrarily, if you follow, you pass where you're not supposed to pass, if you go sell. I don't follow, 100,000 don't come up for your pocket. Now, this is exactly the situation. Now, I want to ask this morning, why is it that we love to complain, but when time for action comes, we sit back and wait for another person to go and fight your battle? Right? When it's time to complain, you will complain the loudest. This is one of the biggest challenges we have in this country. When it's time for a little continue, we go sit down. But when it's time to, when the thing don't happen, you come to complain. How long would we complain instead of taking action? Now, that is what the NLC is asking. Now, again, before I open up the phone lines, government of the people, by the people, for the people. These are the people asking questions. What exactly is the government bringing to the table right now? What is the government bringing to the table right now? And why is Joe Ajaero and the leadership of NLC refusing to call off the strike? Something is wrong somewhere. So we would also go down in history lane and take a look at all agreements reached with the NLC and the government that have not been fulfilled. That is fueling this one. I've already talked about insecurity and how it brings about, it comes about from unemployment and neglect of the youths by the leadership class. So let's take some calls and then see what you got to say. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Cosmos.
Amma, my brother, welcome aboard.
Yes, as you said, it's Amma that calls from Wicked Street in Owerri. Mr. Cosmos, I have to thank you this morning for educating some of us on the fact that we are all involved, that we are all directly or indirectly members of NLC. You know, some people think that when you talk of NLC, they Ajaero something, an Ajaero issue. But they don't know that we all are involved, directly or indirectly, members of NLC, and we must fight for the cause collectively. Okay. Another point is that the issue between Dangote and Farouk, I think it will go a long way to open up a lot of kind of worms. I hope for people like him or people who are weak like him will come up with that kind of exercise to help this nation to fight corruption. Thank you, Amma, for making it.
All right, thank you very much, Amma, for your contribution. Okay, people, let's get more calls. Good morning. We lost that caller. Please do call us back if you can. 0911 2022 or 0707 1014. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmas.
Good
my
morning.
very good friend.
Hey, Chief Jude.
I usually call from Duty State.
Okay.
Well, I think what NLC to me is doing is a consumer giving right. But I want to tell them to actually exercise restraint to avoid a situation where some similarly minded youths will eventually cash on it to unleash mayhem to the lives and property of innocent Nigerians, including government. And I want to equally commend our policemen who have actually decided to deploy their special force in order to make sure that at least this group of people I'm talking about do not cash in on it to unleash mayhem to the lives and property of innocent Nigerians, and leaving government property like they did in the last end government protest, where they destroy the gigantic digital equipment of the federal government in Kano State. You see, it is not a very welcome development. NLC must therefore exercise to make sure that this type of scenario do not actually play out. But in my mind, my honest and candid piece of advice to NLC, to use the midnight discussion they held with Mr. President and one other union yesterday to actually shape this protest and continue to look up to Mr. President, whom I know, in his usual listening and his usual unprecedented listening and humongous ear to Nigerians, will eventually give them the listening ear to the best issues, to the greater glory of God.
Okay. Chief Jude, before you go on, are you running? Are you running now? Calm down, cool it down. You see, the NSC should not proceed and look up to the president. Can you tell me what was discussed with the NSC and the president that will make them want to continue after meeting the president? What do you think? In your own as a man and a reasonable man, what do you think the NSC discussed with the president that will make them still want to go on with the protest?
Well, I know that what they may have discussed with the president may not be far from the fact that Mr. President may have assured them that he had heard what they said. And he's also going to increase the tempo, because to say that Mr. President has been doing his best in the fight against insecurity is to say that this is good. But I'm sure that with the discussion with NLC yesterday, he's going to actually step up his actions on this, just like we've been noticing in the recent time. And I want NLC too to actually listen to him, because he who fights once away lives to fight again. Two wrongs can never make a right. All of us know the consequences of a protest in this country, where some hoodlums and criminally minded youths have already cashed in on it to unleash mayhem to the lives and property of innocent Nigerians. And gigantic
So because of that, now people should no longer protest because of some people who
are trying to do so. Let them exercise restraint, and they finish the dialogue first before protesting. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know what you're saying, but how long will they continue to dialogue? Do you know how many times? Okay, just listen. I'm going to read out how many of these agreements have been done and which one. Maybe you call me back and tell me which one has been fulfilled. All the IOU, MOUs. Thank you very much, Chief Jude.
No, it's okay, go ahead. But I know that this one particularly is centered on insecurity, mourning those that have lost their lives and so. But Mr. President has been doing enough as far as this aspect is concerned. That is why I'm emphasizing what I'm emphasizing.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, that was Chief Jude. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Welcome aboard.
It's Austin from Turkey.
Okay.
Barry, I like the question you asked Mr. Chudu.
Okay.
What did they discuss? I like the question you asked Mr. Chudu because every time we should be waiting on the presidency for him to come back. These people are protesting based on the killings in this country. They hide killings in this country, and you're telling them that they should calm down. The question you asked, what did they discuss that made the NLC to continue this protest? Which means there was no head-on, which means there was no agreement. Because you can't tell me that we want to fight, and then we said, okay, let's go come to a round table first of all and discuss. Then after discussion, we still went on to fight. That means that there's no understanding. That means that the president did not give them any meaningful replies, that they continue on this. These people are protesting for the betterment of this country. For the insecurity is too much. I don't like when we are talking, some people will be maybe because of your party that you're in the ruling party, you want to twist things. This is not right now. The country is bleeding. People are dying in this country, and someone is telling us to have patience.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can see the distress in your voice. Calm down, all right? Okay, that was our brother there. He is preaching the gospel of lamentation. Good morning. Jesus Christ. Who got this kind of voice for me? You had better change your position and call back. It's very, very bad. Very, very bad. Please do call us back. Don't be offended. The hold back is just too much. Change your position and call us back. Maybe it's going to be clearer. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
I greet you.
Herbert is my name, and I speak up from Port Harcourt Road.
Okay, Herbert. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Well, there's no time that you call out for protest that one would say is right. To be honest with you, if it's possible to protest every day, I will be part of it. This country is going towards a point where every individual finds it difficult to exist as a human being. Are we talking about the costly cost of feeding? Are we talking about insecurity? Even the wage that labor negotiated is no longer feasible. That is why they are trying to protest today. My worry is the leadership of labor. At the end of the day, they will compromise. The moment Joe Ajaero is called to the presidency, he will come out and be singing a new tune. That is my worry about the current leadership of labor. But are they supposed to protest? Yes, they are, because their living wage can no longer take them home. Insecurity is everywhere. And the only way we can call attention of government is for workers to protest. They are actually the soul of the nation. But unfortunately, their leadership is not doing well.
All right.
Barry, thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's give you some more info on most of these prolonged issues, apart from insecurity, which is well documented, from the economic hardship and unfulfilled promises by the government to the NLC. There are lots and lots of them. We have in the agreement of 2023, that was in October 2023, the agreement framework remains the central reference point, where the NLC claims most of its key deliverables, especially economic relief measures, wage improvements, social support programs, and institutional reforms, remain unfulfilled or only partially delivered, which has fueled repeated protests and strikes threats. Well, additionally, the broader unfulfilled areas include the national minimum wage implementation. Well, a new minimum wage process was expected following the 2023 MOU, but delays and lack of full implementation nationwide remains a major sticking point and contributing to labor unrest. That one is one of them. The education, that is in education, and ASU tertiary crisis, NSA has issues ultimatums, and most recently a 4-week deadline over unresolved issues in the tertiary education sector, reflecting failure to fully implement related commitments. That's another one. Again, they have a problem with the no work, no pay. The no pay, no work conflict. Yes, the government's enforcement of no work, no pay policies against striking workers, e.g. ASU, is cited by NSC as a breach of good faith and poor social dialogue commitments. Well, these are all issues. Part of those things, those one we're talking about, is like the incomplete or delayed payment of the 35,000 wage award arrears remain. Those many workers have not been paid that particular money. The minimum wage committee not set up on time, and of course delaying a new minimum wage process. Up to today, some states have not started paying that 70,000 minimum wage, where refineries, e.g. the Port Harcourt, have not resumed production as expected, hindering fuel supply, and of course, their workers are all there. Then we also have a 25,000 naira cash transfers to vulnerable households, which has not been neutralized or materialized, which of they say neutralized effectively, and the tax waivers incentives for workers and businesses remain largely unimplemented. Government interference in NURT affairs, contrary to the agreed labor law principle. Now, we also have the court filing of a memorandum of understanding as consent judgment is unfulfilled. CNG buses and conversion kits, the programs have not been delivered very well. The outstanding salaries and wages for tertiary education workers are still unresolved. Fertilizer subsidy commitments and related agricultural supporters have not been effectively rolled out, and the MSME's funding promises are seen as a largely abandoned or inactive. We also have social dialogue commitment, which questions due to continued tension and distress, e.g. the no work, no pay policy. Now, these are all issues the NSC is putting on the cart and then telling the government, Nehi Nehi Kaba, we must go ahead in addition to the security crisis. Uh-oh. All right, let's get back to the phone lines or get some more messages. Emeka Dinkpa said, the radio Dogu Barry Cosmos, good morning. Dinkpa Emeka from Umu Alumaku in a Himembano LGA. NSC should have shut the whole station down because we, the federal workers, have suffered enough in the hands of this good-for-nothing administration. Buruburu one of Echo FM. Have a good working day. Jide Ubaja is where Bele face. Very funny. Cosmos Chukunyere says, good morning, Cosmos. He says he's texting from Uhi. God bless you for the great work you are doing in Imo. Thank you very much. Barry, the former First Lady should keep all the explanation to herself. Nigerians don't need it until she names these cabals. All right. That's the gospel according to my namesake. Israel Watch says, Barry, keep the flag flying. You are the best. I must say it. The country is in shambles. Cheers. Dr. Nwachi on Facebook. God bless you. Nwachuku Elias Jr., he says he's from Ogbako. Say, good morning, Mr. Barry. One name on the newspaper review this morning. Firstly, Barry, you have seen the number of unemployed youths, the youths that are being trampled and scrapped, every busy eating the leftovers poured on the ground for them. The reason why Nigeria is still like this, rotting, is because Nigerian youth refuse to stand up. It's unfortunate that a country full of milk and honey is dying of hunger and penury. He says, I am just praying for the day when the bushmeat go chase the hunter, especially Barry. Or secondly, make you one EEDC people. Very soon, serious fight against them will start because they are biting more than they can chew. Have a blissful day. Thank you very, very much for your contribution. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning once again, Mr. Barry. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Very loud and clear. Go ahead. Name and submission.
Olumbise Onyeze Ezelobo.
Okay.
Barry, my friend, I believe this time around, if Labour cannot get it well, it's time for Nigerian youth, if at all they will agree, if at all they will not use religious and the ethnicity tribalism to put the victim hand, for us to reclaim this country that called Nigeria for now. If you mean it, to reclaim our country, imagine somebody, a civil servant, using $7 million to pay for his children's school fees, whereby 90%, even pensioners are dying here, crying for their pensions, dying on daily basis without them seeing what they work for over 30-something years. And our president is calling the Labour to calm them down, maybe for them not to protest. I believe this is the time for us to go after them, if at all that we mean it, to stop them for this 2027 they are claiming ahead of time, for us to stand and say no to it, and they claim back the country, if we mean it. I believe and it will work. If Nigerian youth will come out to say no with the Labour. That's my take. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
Welcome back, sir.
Let me say that my own English and my understanding, demonstration and strike is not the same thing.
At all.
So people who are describing strike, you forget it.
Okay.
And it would be very unfortunate if the president called them and said, don't go on demonstration.
Okay.
It's like a man calling his family and say, I don't want to hear from you, good or bad. We should be able to tell the government they are doing well. We should be able to tell the government they are doing badly.
Okay.
So anybody who is against demonstration, that person should be charged for treason.
Okay.
And I don't think our president was against it.
All right.
And I had taken place in more than 30 demonstrations in this country, and none was ever hijacked. It is the politicians who started organizing this so-called hijack. When people are demonstrating, even at 7-something, I took part in pensioner demonstration.
Okay.
It's on record. So people who don't these things should not be deceiving us. Demonstration, even in companies, people put suggestion box. And sometimes a person is compensated for criticizing their management. Because the idea of suggestion box or demonstration is to say, this thing should be done this way, it is not being properly done.
Yeah.
Pension should be reviewed every 5 years. Or with any salary. Years gone. They should praise themselves. Even prayer is a form of demonstration to God. Should we simply go and clip and say, God should know our mind? Right. They should allow people come and say, this is not right. We will want it done this way.
Okay.
What the NSA is trying to achieve is the only sad aspect of our military regime, that our military regime made people docile and uninterested in governance. I can see you want me to stop. Let me stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Juju from Ikwere says, Barry, good morning. On the issue of late Buhari, whether Buhari or Jibrin, the wife should go and sit down. Please, don't say ill about the dead, please. Don't say ill about the dead. All right, dear Mr. Barry, a very good morning. It's not 80% of graduates, it's 100% rather. A country where a master degree holder is driving keke bus. In fact, the number of keke bus in Imo is far greater than the number of people because it's the last hope of the unemployed graduates. While an individual is paying $5 million on fees for just a secondary school children, this is for a session, I believe. Wow, Barry, see Executive Ole, men who steal with integrity. Barry, government pays 70K minimum wage and collect it through NEPA bills, robbing Peter to pay Paul. This is very interesting. Clowns everywhere. Everybody now struggle to eat. Let Nigeria not happen to us in our next ward. Mr. Flaxi from Federal Housing, New Owerri. Thank you, Mr. Flaxi, for sending in your message. This one says, good morning, Barry. The youth should rise up and take over their country rather than sitting on the fence. They are the leaders of tomorrow, not tomorrow, as they usually say. I believe we can have masters as a party against the ruling APC. Now that almost all the state governors are decamping to APC, the onus lies on the masses to decide on what they want rather than the parties. All right? Remember that when it was alleged that Peter Obi won the election in 2023, the Labour Party had no sitting governor. So the masses can still replicate the feat in 2027. On power generation and distribution, Nigeria has remained on 500 megawatts since after the exit of Goodluck Jonathan from office. Both Africa of about 60 million people enjoy about 400,000 or 40,000 megawatts of electricity. May God help us, our dear country. Thanks. Elder Ima Oluibo sent in that message. This other one just sent me a laughing emoji. This one says, good morning. And of course, good morning, Barry Cosmos. I'm Ofuegbu Chinedu from Umuakali, Nazi. Please, the situation of this country and discussing sensitive matters, and one sycophant will be talking like psycho. Thank you. All right, what's up, Miss? It says, I'm calling Zoswago, a.k.a. Motion, texting from Imopoli. Good morning, my good friend, Uchenna Clara, and the listeners. This is not Uchenna, this is Barry Cosmos. I don't what Tinubu said, because I don't understand what is happening in Nigeria. Democracy anymore. Tinubu appoints Supreme Court Justice and INEC chairman. So he can always get what he wants. We are gradually moving to one-party system. This is very bad for our democracy. A motion from Imopoli. Okay. This other news says, good morning, Barry, the Radio Marshal, the one. I'm Prince Chiedozie Onwumere, writing from Owerri. Barry, the situation is that Writing, okay, said Barry, the truth is that election rigging in this country have done Nigeria more harm than no good, because if we select good and listening and competent leaders, all this nonsense will stop. Instead of all these empty and unfulfilled promises, Barry, tell these shameless sycophants to be responsible for once what they will teach their children. Barry, they are talking about homeless or handless to hijacked. Barry is the same policemen who are reasonable for the hijack. All right, thank you very, very much, Prince Chidozie Onwumere. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry.
I greet you. Who's on my line?
It's Mama Bibi calling from Naked.
Mama Bibi, carry go.
How na day now?
Oh, yeah.
For me, I pray that this protest will yield a fruitful result. Let it not end like others.
Okay.
I pray that it will make a fruitful result. That's what I'm praying for.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, if you're just joining us, you're welcome to the last lap of the show, because we have about 5 more minutes to wrap up this program. So everybody, if you have your say now or forever remain silent. As for the protest, it's still ongoing. And of course, let's see if we can bring you some of the highlights from that particular protest after this call. Good morning.
Yeah, once more, good morning, Mr. Cosmas.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm from Uche Street. First of all, we have to understand the fact, for those who do not know, that protest is a democratic exercise. Yes. You see, Mr. Cosmos, I've always said, and I have continued to say, that since I was born, I've seen both military and civilian government come and gone. But to tell you the fact, I have not seen this kind of government before. Think of a lot of unfulfilled promises, hyperinflation, negligence, insensitivity, converting Nigeria into one state, multiple exploitative taxation with no commensurate development, insecurity, high insecurity here and there.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate some people are still speaking in favor of this government. But it's appalling. Thank you, Amma from Uche.
Thank you very much, Amma. Okay, just before we wrap up the show, say your piece now or forever remain silent. This other one says, good morning, Barry, the Radio Mashal, and the Buruburu one. I'm Prince Chidozie. I think I've taken a message already. Okay, let's move on to the next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Barry Cosmo.
Good morning, I greet you.
How are you this morning?
Very fine.
Yeah. My brother, you know, at times I get astonished when I see people, you know, belonging to a society that sees black and call it white. I somehow being irritated and telling you God's truth. So in this very present country now, because someone wants to maybe have relevance in politics or whatever, should not warrant maybe when you see a black, you will call it white. When you see a woman walking, you will, when somebody asks you, he is walking that way, you will say, no, it's not a woman, it's a man. While having known that he's a woman walking, but you change it because of politics, because you want to maybe have one relevancy on the other, you will now say, it's not a woman that is walking. No, it's a man that is walking. Barry is appalling. I'm telling you. So in this very present condition now, somebody will be praising this very failed government, for crying out loud. In every ramification, this present government has failed. In insecurity, you can see the rate of insecurity in the country. You can see how people are suffering, how people are dying, borrowing and all that without proper accountability. I mean, right now they are now saying about taxation. Barry, I want to ask, the money as an oil-producing country, where our money went to, even the ones that are being borrowed, where are they? Now is only what will government do in order to encourage people For once, since I'm born in this country, I've not received any encouragement from government. It's just exploitation, and exploitation. And a lot of people can testify to that. And somebody is praising them every now and then. Even the evil they are committing, people are praising it. It's unfortunate, my brother. It's uncalled for.
Thank you.
It's very painful. Thank you, my brother. I'm Prince Chiedozie Woman.
Thank you, Prince. Okay, that was Prince Chiedozie Woman there. Well, if you see the meeting they held, the videos are out now. The protest is ongoing. If you watch in the streets of Abuja, they are moving on, and the placards are there. They are already out. And some people are just going about their businesses, lawful business. That's the problem. Some of us just, okay, NSC they do. Some don't even know that NSC is doing their project because they were doing something to you. Man, no, come see. Let's not see this whole thing now going up and down and then doing some things like see if nothing is happening. Let's go to another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm fine. My
All
name
right.
is Elder Mawati.
Okay,
I'm
Elder.
calling from Setlo Road.
Okay.
The problem we have in Nigeria between NLC and government is that the government has politicized NLC. Particularly in Imo State, here, where the governor decides who becomes the leader of NLC in Imo State. And how can such a leader now speak to the governor or government about the welfare of workers where he is handpicked by the government? And nationally, the government is now using the courts and judges to intimidate labor leaders, therefore making the labor leaders very, very irrelevant. So the only thing that will happen is that when the so-called judges in Nigeria know the relevance of NLC, that even when the NLC fights, it favors them also, not only the lower workers, but also the judges. They benefit from whatever benefit comes from NLC struggles. That is one thing. If they have not realized that and continue to be on the side of government to intimidate labor leaders, labor leaders will not be as effective as they are expected to be. That is what I want to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let me get my last caller before we go. My last caller. Okay, we lost that one. Please, who's going to be our last caller for today? Left, right, left, right. Oh, God. Okay. Let me just say the NLC is currently protesting. The police is also escorting them, and it's good to see that they are not shooting anybody. Please, peace is what we want. Don't let this unscrupulous element take over. Good morning, my last caller.
Larry, good morning.
Good morning.
I'll come back again.
All right.
See what I want to say now.
Okay.
See, the problem where we have in this country is that if police, the uniform men, can cooperate with the masses, they are not compromising. Because they are the key of this country. They are the power of this country. They are the front of this country. If they can stop backing corruption in this country, Nigeria will be a good country in 2027. So I'm saying this for our dear uniform men. Please, you see how people are suffering. Even you people, the same thing. Everybody is suffering this same thing. Let us make a new U-turn in 2027 by standing with masses to change this role. Even some other countries that are not big like Nigeria, that look at how they are talking to us like small children, bringing insult to us. But we have all what we take. Keep this country very good for everybody, a place for everybody to live. So
Thank you.
I'm talking to uniform men. Please stand with us.
Thank you.
To make
Thank
a
you.
good country
Thank you.
2027.
Thank you very much. All right. So as our NLC and its leadership are protesting in Abuja, wearing their red and all that, going about doing their business. We want everybody to be vigilant. Don't let anybody lead you into committing any crime in the name of protest. So if you're protesting, be peaceful, be law-abiding, and don't let anything happen to your neighbor. That is all we ask from you. That is our show for today. Let's do this again tomorrow for another round of conversation. I think tomorrow we'll be hosting the Commissioner for Lands, and of course, he will be here with us to answer some of our questions and clarify certain things that were raised in our conversation yesterday and previously. Thank you very much. Up next is the Slim Diva Mary with Health Revolution.
Another banger.